2Chronicles 18. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only, and he's an extremely jealous El. He's so jealous that he doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. Yah is short for Yahweh, Yahweh, Yod-He, Vav-He. There's no difference. It's like saying Dan, Daniel, Daniel with an E. What is the difference? And does matters when people say that Phil, Bob, Sam, and Aaron are the same name when they're clearly not. No one in their right mind would ever believe that, and only a fool would believe that a hammer could force its creator to do anything. There is no letter J in the Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic text because the letter J is only about 600 years old, while the son of Elohim, Yehoshua, died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity over 2,000 years ago. And a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Yehoshua is Joshua, and I strongly believe that the son of Elohim's name, Yehoshua, means Yahweh is salvation. 18. And Jehoshaphat had great riches and esteem, and allied himself with Ahab by marriage, A-H with a dot, A-B with a line underneath of it. And some years later he went down to visit Ahab in Shamaron, and Ahab slaughtered many sheep and cattle for him and the people with him, and incited him to go up with him to Ramoth Gilead. Ramoth. Gilead is Gil'-A-D with a line underneath of it. And Ahab, sovereign of Israel, said to Yehoshaphat, sovereign of Yehuda, do you go with me against Ramoth Gilead? And he answered him, I am as you are, and my people as your people, and my people as your people, even with you in battle. And Yehoshaphat said to the sovereign of Israel, please inquire for the word of Yahweh today. And the sovereign of Israel gathered the prophets together, 400 men, and said to them, do we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or do I refrain? And they said, go up, for Elohim does give it into the sovereign's hand. But Yehoshaphat said, is there not still a prophet of Yahweh here, so that we inquire of him? And the sovereign of Israel said to Yehoshaphat, there is still one man to inquire of Yahweh from him, but I hate him because he never prophesies good concerning me, but always evil. He is Micaiah, M-I-K with a line underneath of it, A-Y-E-H-U, the son of Yimla, Y-I-M-L-A. And Yehoshaphat said, let not the sovereign say so. So the sovereign of Israel called one of his officers and said, bring Micaiah, son of Yimla, at once. And the sovereign of Israel and Yehoshaphat, the sovereign of Yehuda, dressed in their robes, sat each on his throne, and they sat at a threshing floor at the entrance of the gate of Shamaron, and all the prophets were prophesying before them. And Sidquiah, T-S-I-D with a line underneath of it, Q-I-Y-A-H-U, son of Kenana, K-E-N-A apostrophe A-N-A-H, had made horns of iron for himself, and said, thus said Yahweh, with these you push the Arameans until they are destroyed. And all the prophets were prophesying so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, and Yahweh shall give it into the hand of the sovereign. And the messenger who had gone to call Micaiah spoke to him, saying, see, the words of the prophets with one mouth are good towards the sovereign. So please let your word be like the word of one of them, and you shall speak good. And Micaiah said, as Yahweh lives, whatever my Elohim says that I speak. And he came to the sovereign, and the sovereign said to him, Micah, M-I-K with a line underneath of it, A-H, do we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or do I refrain? And he said, go and prosper, and they are given into your hand. And the sovereign said to him, how many times have I made you swear that you do not speak to me except the truth in the name of Yahweh? So he said, I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And Yahweh said, These have no master. Let each return to his house in peace. And the sovereign of Israel said to Yehoshaphat, Did I not say to you that he would not prophesy good concerning me, but evil? What a fool. Seriously, the guy is just like, oh, he prophesied evil. Shut up. Grow up. Stop being a child. Then he said, Therefore hear the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the host of the heavens standing on his right and on his left. And Yahweh said, Who shall entice Ahab, sovereign of Israel, to go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said this, and another said that. And a spirit came forward and stood before Yahweh and said, Let me entice him. Yahweh said to him, In what way? And he said, I shall go out and be a spirit of falsehood in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Entice him and also prevail. Go out and do so. And now see, Yahweh has put a spirit of falsehood in the mouth of these prophets of yours, and Yahweh has spoken evil concerning you. And Sidquiah, son of Kenana, came near and struck Micaiah on the cheek and said, Which way did the Spirit of Yahweh pass over from me to speak to you? And Micaiah said, Look, you shall see on that day when you go into an inner room to hide. Then the sovereign of Israel said, Take Micaiah and return him to Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash. Ammon is Amon, and Joash is Joash, Yo'Ash, the sovereign's son, and say, Thus said the sovereign, Put this one in prison and feed him with bread of affliction and water of affliction until I return in peace. So when they say bread of affliction, they're going to give him very limited bread, and they're going to give him very limited water till he's afflicted. And Micaiah said, If you return at all in peace, Yahweh has not spoken by me. And he said, Hear all of you. Then the sovereign of Israel and Yehoshaphat, the sovereign of Yehuda, went up to Ramoth Gilead. And the sovereign of Israel said to Yehoshaphat, Let me disguise myself and go into battle, but you put on your robes. And the sovereign of Israel disguised himself, and they went into battle. And the sovereign of Aram, Aram, had commanded the commanders of the chariots who were with him, saying, Fight with no one, small or great, but only with the sovereign of Israel. And it came to be, when the commanders of the chariots saw Yehoshaphat, that they said, It is the sovereign of Israel. So they turned around to fight against him. And Yehoshaphat cried out, and Yahweh helped him, and Elohim moved them to turn away from him. And it came to be, when the commanders of the chariots saw that it was not the sovereign of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. And a man drew a bow in his simplicity and struck the sovereign of Israel between the joints of his armor. And he said to the driver of his chariot, Turn around and take me out of the battle, for I am wounded. But the battle increased that day, and the sovereign of Israel was propped up in his chariot facing the Arameans until evening, and he died at the time of the going down of the sun. So sunset. He died at sunset, which is exactly what the prophet said. And those hundreds of other prophets were all lying. Every single one of them was lying. Savage.